We are now going to learn about Kirchhoff's current law. This law is valid across all kinds of circuits, and so we must understand it really well. Kirchhoff's current law flows from two facts about charges. The first fact, a universal fact, is that charge is conserved. What does that mean? Charge cannot be created, charge cannot be destroyed. And the second fact is that we are only going to deal with steady state circuits. So steady state basically means currents are constant. And a fact about steady state circuits is that charge cannot accumulate. So what does that mean? You cannot have a point where charge is growing. You cannot have charge accumulation at any point. So these two facts tell us Kirchhoff's current law. How? Here I have two wires that meet at that junction, and I have this wire carrying a current, let us say 3 amperes, I1. So if 3 amperes comes in, what does that mean? 3 coulombs every second. So every second this current will bring 3 coulomb charge and put it there. Can that 3 coulomb charge vanish? Can it get destroyed? No, because charge is conserved. But then in steady state charge cannot accumulate. So you cannot have that 3 coulombs staying there at that junction. So then what should happen? It has to get out. So that means 3 coulombs comes in every second, 3 coulombs must go out every second. So whatever current comes in must go out. That brings us to Kirchhoff's current law. So here we see only 2 wires meeting at that point. Let us now look at a slightly more complicated junction with many wires meeting at that point. So I have a current I1 coming in, I2 coming in, I3 coming in. Let us say I2 was 2 amperes and I3 is 5 amperes. So totally I have 3 amperes, 2 amperes, 5 amperes, 10 amperes current going into the junction. That means every second 10 coulombs of charge will go into the junction. But it cannot accumulate, it cannot get destroyed. So what should happen? It has to get out. So let us say 6 amperes goes out this way, I4. The remaining 4 amperes must go out this way, right? Only then you can say total of 10 amperes is going out when 10 amperes is coming in. Every second, whatever charge comes in must go out. I am not saying this is 3 amperes, this 3 amperes goes that way. I don't know. I don't know whether it is this 3 amperes going that way. What I know is 3 amperes comes in, 2 amperes comes in, 5 amperes comes in. Total current coming in is 10 amperes. So 10 amperes must go out through a combination of I4 and I5. So what we can say is that at any instant, the total current entering the junction must be equal to the total current exiting the junction. If that doesn't happen, then charge will start accumulating, which is not possible. Okay, because charge cannot get destroyed, it will start accumulating. So therefore, what we can say is that the total current entering a junction must always be equal to the total current exiting the junction. Now this statement, we can write it this way: I1 plus I2 plus I3 must be equal to I4 plus I5. So this way of stating it is called Kirchhoff's current law first statement. Let me show you another way to rethink the same statement. So I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to I4 plus I5. You can bring I4 and I5 to this side and you can write it like this. Okay, but instead of thinking of it as minus I4, I can think of it as plus of minus I4. Similarly, plus of minus I5. So I can say I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus minus I4 plus minus I5 equal to 0. What is the advantage? Everything is a plus. So we can say sum of all the currents. But wait a minute, this is minus I4. So current going out, we are going to treat it as a negative current. That's all we have done. So if I can think of currents with a sign, incoming currents are positive, outgoing currents are negative, then I can say that this statement is net current. Sum of all the currents, sigma current, sigma, this symbol sigma means sum of all the currents. But now what are you doing? You are taking each of these currents with the corresponding sign. If it is coming in, we are treating it as positive. If it is going out, we are treating it as negative. So when we take the current with the sign, the sum of all the currents, we call these signed currents or algebraic currents. So algebraic sum of currents is equal to 0. So this is another way in which you can state Kirchhoff's current law. In fact, most books will say it this way. Kirchhoff's current law says net current into a junction is equal to 0. When you say this, remember you are saying that you must take the currents with a proper sign. Incoming currents as positive, outgoing currents as negative. But we can also say Kirchhoff's current law is this statement: total current entering the junction is equal to total current exiting the junction. Then we don't have to worry about the sign. We just take proper currents entering and currents going out. Then we can say total currents entering the junction is equal to total currents exiting the junction. So this is the most common way in which we will be using Kirchhoff's law. So this statement of Kirchhoff's law, first statement. This is the second statement of Kirchhoff's law. Both of these are called Kirchhoff's current law. So remember that it's a very simple idea. Total current entering a junction must be equal to the total current exiting the junction. Let us now look at this question. So in this question, we have these 3 wires bringing in current into the junction, and we have these 2 wires taking out current from the junction. What is the total current into the junction? 2 amperes plus 2.3 amperes plus 3.6 amperes, which is how much? This is going to be 7.9 amperes. So we know that the total current entering this junction is 7.9 amperes. How much must exit? 7.9 amperes. But how much is exiting? 4.2 amperes is exiting plus I. That is the total amount of current that is exiting. But the total current exiting must be equal to the total current entering. So 7.9 must be equal to 4.2 plus I, which means I must be 7.9 minus 4.2, which is 3.7 amperes. So this current I must be 3.7 amperes. So that is the answer to this question. So 4.2 amperes plus 3.7 amperes gives us 7.9 amperes going out and 7.9 amperes is coming in. We have already seen how to apply Kirchhoff's current law for a junction. Basically, total current into the junction must be equal to the total current coming out of the junction. So here, the total current coming into the junction is 2 plus 3.1 plus 1.9. So 7 amperes. So 7 amperes current is entering the junction. How much is going out of the junction? Well, it is 1.2 plus X. If these two have to be equal, that means X must be how much? X must be 7 minus 1.2, 5.8 amperes. So we know how to apply Kirchhoff's current law to a junction. But you can use the same idea to talk about wires, currents in wires, currents that are entering resistors, currents that are entering batteries and so on. Let us see that now. Let us now look at this wire. There is a current of 2 amperes entering the wire. At this point, if I think of this as a junction, whatever is entering the junction must get out of the junction. So that means the current that is coming out of the junction must be 2 amperes. I can again think of this point as a junction. So if this is 2 amperes, this is 2 amperes and so on. So I can say that this current is 2 amperes, this current is 2 amperes. Everywhere the current is 2 amperes. If there is no branching, then the current flowing through every point of the wire will be 2 amperes. But suppose there was branching. Suppose there was a wire like that and there was a branching. That means it is splitting up into 2 pieces like this. Then this current, suppose it was 4 amperes. You can't say that that part of the wire will have 4 amperes. You can't say that because you can have 1 ampere here and you can have 3 amperes here. So you can't say that every point on the wire will have the same current because there is branching. But if there is no branching, however long this wire is, Whatever current enters, that is what must flow everywhere through the wire. Okay? Let us now try to use the same idea for a resistor. Now there is a current of 1 ampere entering this resistor. Now what is a resistor? You don't even need to know. We know that if 1 ampere enters, then you can do the same idea of junction by junction. You can say this point I'll treat as a junction. So then what is coming out is 1 ampere. Then that is a junction. So what is going that way is 1 ampere. We don't have to do all that. Throughout you must have 1 ampere. And so what comes out must be 1 ampere. If 1 ampere enters the resistor, 1 ampere must come out of the resistor. Same way, if I have a battery, 1.2 amperes enters the battery, you cannot have charge accumulating. Though we write plus and minus sign here for the battery 2 terminals, what is entering the battery must get out of the battery. So 1.2 amperes enters the battery, 1.2 amperes must come out of the battery. Somebody may say, but current must come out of the positive side. Not really required. Yes, current can come out of the positive side. So if it comes out, 1.2 comes out of the plus side, 1.2 will enter the minus side. If 1.2 enters the plus side, then 1.2 will come out of the minus side. So what enters the battery will have to exit. So Kirchhoff's law, current law, is valid for a battery as well. Now suppose I had a big circuit like this, but there is no branching. You can see that there is no branching. What goes like this, goes like this, goes like this and comes out. I have resistors, 3 of them. I have a battery and I have this what we call a black box, which could be anything. We don't know what it is. It doesn't matter because what enters here must go out of this resistor. So this must be 3 amperes. What enters this resistor must come out. So this must be 3 amperes. If you take this junction, 3 comes in. So 3 must go down like that. 3 comes into the battery, so must come out of the battery. Similarly, there is 3 amperes entering this black box and 3 amperes must come out of the black box. 3 amperes must come out of the black box and it will travel out like that, and the current going out of this resistor is 3 amperes. Basically, there is no branching. Whenever there is no branching, then you can conclude that you must have the same current throughout. Okay? So the current entering must be equal to the current exiting. Let us now learn how to use Kirchhoff's current law in circuits that have a lot of branching. Look at this. There is a branching here. There is a branching there. What do? I need to find this current X and I need to find this current Y. Well, actually it's quite easy. You just apply Kirchhoff's current law at each of the junction points. So 5 amperes comes in, 2 amperes is going out. So if I apply it at junction A, then what can I say? I can say 5 in, 2 plus X out. 2 plus X must be equal to 5. That tells us X must be equal to 3 amperes. So this current is 3 amperes. Okay. Now you can argue, but this is 2 amperes there, not at this junction. But we already learned that the current going out of the resistor must be equal to the current coming into the resistor. Similarly, current coming into the resistor must be equal to the current going out of the resistor. So whether it is there or here, it is the same thing. So we can say 5 in, 2 out, X out. 5 must be equal to 2 plus X. So we can figure out that X must be equal to 3 amperes. Now this is X 3 amperes. So this must be 3 amperes. This must be 3 amperes. So it's going to go like this. This must be 3 amperes. And so this must be 3 amperes. So you can see that this current is the same as that current. And so I know that 3 amperes is entering B. Now 4.1 is entering the battery here. Well, that means 4.1 must be entering B as well. Because what is entering the battery must come out of the battery like that. So if you look at junction B, 4.1 coming in, 3 coming in. So 4.1 plus 3 is the total current coming in. That must be equal to the current going out. It's going out there, but that is the same as the current going there. So this must be equal to Y. So Y must be equal to 7.1 amperes. So we can conclude that this current must be 7.1 amperes. So it's very easy to apply Kirchhoff's law. Just apply it junction by junction by junction, and then you will be able to find out all the currents required.